Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You were requesting to me to use dark mode, so here I am. From now onwards, I will be using dark mode just to share with you that why I was using light mode before this is because for my eyes, dark mode was not comfortable. But I do respect your views. So from now onwards, most of the videos which I will be creating, I will be using dark mode. So thank you for giving me your suggestions. Now let's move ahead and see what we are gonna learn in today's video. In the last video, I showed you API testing of get. I also explained you few related topics with that. For example, wait for and act. So now what we are gonna do is we are gonna learn about testing for the post request. So whenever you will be doing a post request, how you are going to write the test cases, that's what we are going to talk about. And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an example. I will create a form, and on submit of the button, it will be a post request to a URL, to a API endpoint, and we are going to test that. So let's start. What I'm going to do is first I'm going to create form.jsx. So this is just I'm going to explain you what we are going to build, and through TDD I'm going to write the whole code. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a form with title, body and user ID. This would be a form. On submit, what we are going to do is we are going to send this content to our API endpoint, and on success, what will happen? We will be showing the title back in our UI. So this is what our requirements is. And now what is this API endpoint? Again, I'm gonna use JSON placeholder. So if you will come to JSON placeholder, you can see here. So these all are get requests. This is the post. So if I want to do a post request, this is the URL. And from here, the data which I was saying, title, body, user ID, this is the one. Okay. So this is what we are gonna do. So again, form, title, body, user ID. There will be a button. On click of submit of that button, this data will be a post request to this API endpoint, and on success, what will happen? The title which we have posted, it should come back in our view. Okay, so this is what we are gonna do. So again, what we are gonna do? We are gonna do TDD. So we will come here. We will create form.test.js, and we will start with our same import screen and render. There are few which I will import later, and I will say import form from form. Now let's come here, describe what we are doing. Form post request. I hope this is clear so far that how to write this. Post the data to API endpoint. Wait. Okay, now let's start talking about how our test case is gonna look like. Again, what we are gonna do is we are gonna do the mocking. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna use the just mocking functions to mock our post request behavior. It is almost same like what we have done in get. So what I'm gonna do is the first thing is mocking part. So I will write global.fetch equals to now just dot fn. What this fn is? That whenever we are doing global fetch request in our test cases, now we are gonna do the mocking through the just function, and what we are gonna say is whenever this fetch request is happening, mock resolved value. Okay, so what we are gonna, which value we are gonna pass? We are gonna say okay should be true. This is the success case, and it should return JSON. And because fetch is our promise, so it will return us promise dot resolve, and in this what data we want it to return. So if you will go back in our form here, what we are saying, on success, title should be back in our UI. So here our title should come back. So test title. Okay, so this is the mocking part. And now what we will do is, we will come here, render our form component. It will fail because we haven't written any code. Once our component has been rendered, what we want to do, let's go back here. We want to submit our title, body, user ID. These are the three things we want to do. And when this data is there, on submit, that data should go to the API endpoint. So first step, what we need to do is, now we need to capture the data. So if you doesn't know about the form capturing data, or sorry, form testing data, it's okay. I already made some videos where I have explained that how to do the form testing. I will give the link in the below description box. You can check that. I will try to explain as much as I can in this video, but this video focus is API post request testing. So later on I will make a more descriptive one. Okay, so the first thing what we want to do is input. So what we are gonna do is, whenever we are doing a form input field, we need to fire an event. So what we are gonna use is fire event. Now what is this fire event? This is means that when our test case is running, obviously there won't be any user. It's a parallel browser node environment where our test cases is running. So we want that in our input field, the data should get added. How that's gonna add it? It is gonna add by fire event. So with fire event, when you write fire event, it has multiple events which you want to implement. So in our case, because this is input, we are gonna use change. And then what we are gonna say, we need to find that particular field. So because we are gonna create an input field, I know that I will be passing a placeholder, or if you are gonna have a label, we can do that, and it would be title. Okay, so this is the field. And now what we want to do, we want to say that in this field, the target and its value should be test title. I will explain this because this is very important. So what we are doing here is, we are writing data in our input field of title. Okay, so fire event dot change, because our test case is running in the browser, there is no user to type there. So that's why we are using fire event dot change, so that it will start writing that data. Screen dot get by placeholder text, to find that particular field where we want this event to be fired. So in our case, we are looking for the title field. Right now I know that I will be passing a placeholder, but if we have a label, we can do it by that also. But right now we are keeping it to placeholder. And then what we are saying, on this field, its target value should be test title. Okay, so if you want to recall, when we do event.target.value, this would be test title. So this is what we are doing. Okay, now similarly we will do for the rest. So this is for title, this is for body, and this is for user ID. So we can say title body, and here we can say title body, here we can say user ID, and here we can just pass 101. So this is done. Now what we are gonna do, first part is done. Now we want to submit the form. So we have to click on our button. So how we can get the button? There would be a text submit. So again, what we are gonna use, fire event, but this time we are gonna use click event, and we will say screen dot get by text, which one, submit. Okay, so this is done. Now once the submission is done, now let's go back. What's next? Our API endpoint request should go. So from here onwards, our API work will start. And if you remember from our list test case, I told you that because this is gonna be a asynchronous, so what we have to do, we will use await and wait for. This is what we have to use. Okay, now because async, because we are using async, we have to put I'm really sorry, because we are using await, we have to make this function async. Okay, and we need to import this wait for from here. Okay, so now we are here. Now what we have to do, now we need to start doing our API post request. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna start writing, and we will start writing our mocking. So what first thing is expect, because the click has happened, so our fetch request is going global.fetch, and what we are saying that when this request is going to have been called with, because we have to pass our endpoint. So this is the endpoint. So let's come here, and we're here. We are gonna write our endpoint. Now if you remember how we do our post request, the signature of our post request. So what we are gonna do is expect, I will show you in a while. Sorry, what is happening? Expect dot object containing. So whenever the fetch request is happening, it should call this post request URL, and this should contain what it should contain. It should contain method post, then body JSON dot stringify, and within this we are gonna pass all the content. So our content will be this one, test title, then our body would be test title body, our user ID would be 101. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now this is happening. So once the post request is successful, then what we should do, now we need to, now the third step here, once it is success, the title should come back to in our UI. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna find that text. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write find by text, and what it will do is, this is a function, and I will just explain you what it is doing. Get by text, and we are gonna find this one in our UI. So what we are doing here is, this is a custom matcher we are creating. Okay, so this find by text, basically what it is doing is, whenever we are gonna call this, it will run this particular function. Now why we are doing it? There are two reasons. The first reason is because I wanted to show you that you can make your own custom matchers. There would be the cases where you need it. If I want to do this, there are possibility that this test case will give error. So let me do one thing. First, let me create that error, and then I will show you. Title, so screen dot get by text, and let's get it test title. Yep, and then our assertion, expect title to be truthy or in the document. Okay, let's do this one. Right now our test case will fail for the obvious reason, because we haven't written the test cases, so it will fail. Let's see. Yeah, it is failing because there is no test case, which is sorry, there is no code for this. So now what we are gonna do is I'm gonna quickly write the code of this, so that we can start seeing where our test case is failing. Okay, so let's start. Again the same thing. I'm not gonna explain this code to you, but if you want me to explain you, please let me know in the comment section, so that in the next video I can explain you this. So here we are doing a post request, so signature will be different. We have to tell that this is gonna be a post request, and then we have to give the body. In the body, if you know, you can read more about this. We have to stringify, and what we have to stringify? Our form data. Okay, so here it will come, and with that we will give our headers, content type. Okay, now if this is successful, then we will get our response data. We will convert that to JSON, and then what we are gonna do is we will take this set data state, put it here. Let's make a button, submit, and here on click this should be called, on change these will be called, and then here all we need to do is, if data is there, then show what we want to show. We want to show the data dot title. That's it. This is what we want to do. Okay, so this is wrong. Perfect. Let me export this. Export default form. Spelling is wrong. Let's see. Okay, so this is still failing. Let's see why it is failing. The first error we are getting is title body. Okay, placeholder. Yes, because it is not title body, it is just body. Next, get by text submit. Lowercase and uppercase. Another error. Yeah, so as I told you when I was writing this thing, there will be an error. Let's read the error to understand. Unable to find an element with the test title. This could be because the text is broken up multiple times. In the case, you can provide a function for your text matcher to make your matcher more flexible. So this is the issue which is coming, and you can see a act issue is also coming. So now what is happening is our text they are not able to find. So that's why I was writing a custom matcher, so that let me write it and then you can understand. Find by text, and what it will do is whenever I'm gonna call this, it will just return me this. So because this is gonna give us a return, and if the return would be there, so it would be to be truthy, we can have it. Let's see if this will run. And we can see this is a warning coming, so we can ignore it, but you can see your form is passing. So this is what is happening. I just want to show you one more thing. If we do to be in the document, this will fail. Okay, the reason is because this is a custom matcher, so that's why. Okay, now if you want to see that it is failing or not, what we are gonna do, oh, again this is failing. Yeah, to be truthy, my bad. To be truthy, let's do one thing. Let's do a typo. Why this is not failing? Okay, wait, let's do one thing. Instead of, because it is returning this, okay, so now if you will see, this is passing, this is failing, sorry. And let me come here, this is fine, test title, but because our response is not coming here as test title, that's why it is failing. Okay, let's fix this. And here also, if you will see, what we are doing is we are passing the data with the wrong data. So you can see that it is now passing. So this is how you do the post testing. I will just repeat once again a quick summary that what we have done. Our requirement was to do a post request. Whenever you are submitting a form, um, the data which we have captured, it should go as a post request to our API endpoint. Once that API endpoint post request is successful, the title should be come back in our UI. So in our UI, we can see that data. So this was our requirement. So what we have done is, again, we have done a mocking. In the mocking, we are just giving the title name because this is what we wanted to show. If you have more than title, you can just have that data here. Whatever in the success you want to show, it should be in promise.resolve. You can make a mock data separately for that and use it here. Then we have rendered our component, and because it was a form, we have captured the form data. For that, we have used fire event. Once the data is there, we did the button click. On the button click, the form should submit, and then our post request started. We have done the same thing what we have done for the get request. Whenever the global.fetch is happening, it should be called with the API endpoint which we are using. And what we are also saying is that expect whenever this global fetch is happening, that object should contain the method and the body, the data which we wanted to post. Once this is happening, once our post request is going, after that what we want to do is, we wanted to find the text which came back as a successful response in our UI. So what we are doing here is, we have created a custom matcher. This custom matcher will, what it will do is, it will return us true or false if this text has been is there or not. So, and then we are doing the assertion that if it is there, just pass it. So this is how we have done. Again, we haven't captured the error state of post request. We will do it in the next video. Thank you so much for watching it. If you have any suggestions, any comments, please let me know. Thank you so much for your support and continuously giving me your feedback, suggestion, and like and sharing in your group. Take care. Bye.